All right, let me just be brief about this topic here, as I am making a comparison about, the first round of the BER season tournament last year and this year as well. Let me say this. I still preferred last year's first round BER season tournament to be better and more enjoyable for a few reasons. One, obviously, my signature moment, the buzzer beater, that got me to advance to the semifinals. For the first time I've done the BER season tournament, right? Although done on the road after a really atrocious Game 9 in Heritage Park, I followed that. I went in on the road to make sure that, although down by 9 with like 30-something seconds to go, made about a couple threes, and I forgot what other shot it was. I think it was like a floater or a mid-range jumper or something like that. But yeah, after missing that mid-range jumper, what was it, like it was like a bank shot, mid-range jumper or so. I remember I missed that, and then I ran quickly with like 3 seconds to go, and I nailed that three just as the buzzer is about to sound, and boom, straight on the net, man. That was the signature moment. That's one reason. And I didn't need a game 11 like this one here to advance. So, and another thing too is at that time I didn't have the consecutive same shot option. Also, no out of bounds options either, unlike I had this year, right? So without that, somehow I was able to, after, what was it? I started the series 0-1, right? Also, and then in the second game where it was like a double overtime, I think, or a triple overtime. I know it was a long ass game, but I ultimately came out prevailing in game 2 at Cerritos Park East, my home court, to go 1-1. And then I lose in Willow Park game 3, and then game 4 I won that one. Game 3 was a close loss, no doubt. I made a half-court shot that got me back within 5, but ultimately I did lose by 5 in the end. So it was still a close game, nevertheless. Game 4 was where, off of the second timeout or first timeout, I think, I made a 4-pointer to ensure that I was up. I think it was a 4 at 3. But it got me to go up by 1. And then, because I didn't need, I think it was under 10 seconds left. I needed the last shot. I think I was still down by 2 at the time, or 3. But I decided to go for a 4, and I won it off the second time out, and I won that one for sure. I made it. So I won that game for sure with like 4 seconds left. So that's 2-2. And then game 5, I won there in Heritage Park. That was also a very close one, right? And then game 6, it was a horrible one to follow up. It was 3-3. And then I won game 7 and 8 at Cerritos Regional Park. And then it only took the first activity in game 7 for me to win. That got me up 4-3, right? Game 8, I needed 2. See, last year also, last year's BER season tournament, it was a 1-for-1 in the first round. But because I had so many second chance O's, that's when I used all of them. I used all of them with the exception of game 7, and simply because I was down every first half. So imagine if this was like a 2-on-2, it's a 1-for-1, but like a 2-part series. Then, to see myself being down every game with the exception of game 7 in the first half, that's got to be something. Because here, the only games I was down in all 11 was, if I'm not mistaken, I was down in game 1 and after the first half. I'm talking about the first half. Game 1, game 5, game 6, game, I think I was down game 7 as well, if I'm not mistaken, in game 8 as well. So, no, actually, was I up in game 8? I can't remember now. But I had more games in this series where I was up after the first half. So I've had more games in this first season, first round where I was up, and than last year's. Last year, the only game I was up was after the first half was in game 7. At that time, it was only a 1 part. Now, remember this. On a side note, because I have the consecutive same shot option and the out of bounds rule, it's why, let's be honest, it's exactly why I won more games this year than I did last year. Last year I actually still won, but the difference with last year, with me having these double-digit winning streaks, these 2 double-digit winning streaks, is because of so many second chance ults that I have. I had special packages back then, right? Considering it was my first full first season tournament shit around season, right? This year, because I have the second, because I have none of those, despite failing 3 bonus games, right? It's including 1 part of the bonus where I can get like this 5 second chance or whatever it is. I had none of them. None. No makeup games, no second chance O's, no skipping games, none. And I won 88 games. I won 21 more than I did last year, and it's only because I upped the game total to 124, and that's bigger. 124 to last year was 106, which is still a lot, right? But yeah, dude, the difference is for me winning more games here, especially with these double-digit winning streaks. Although no second chance O's, no makeup games, I still with the consecutive same shot option and the out of bounds option, I was able to still win. To gain those 2 double-digit winning streaks. Now, to me, this is better because I don't want to make it seem like I'm spoiling myself with so many of those packages like I did last year. But when it comes to the playoffs, dude, I know I used a whole bunch of second chance O's, but if this was like this year's first round where I was up, where I had 2 parts, either way, looking at it, it almost felt that way, with the exception of Game 7 last year, the first round. And the reason why, that's another reason why I still find last year's first round, apart from my signature buzzer beater that got me to advance to the semifinals in Game 10, is that I didn't need the consecutive same shot option and the out of bounds calls, the out of bounds option, right? So yeah, that's what made that series more interesting and a better accomplishment. And it only had to take me 10 games to win it. It only had to take me 10 games to actually advance to the semifinals, ultimately to lose in 7 games, having only won 1, but yeah, dude, I just, there's more nail-biting games in that first round. So looking at it this year, I know that 88 was a higher total, and my expectation is to immediately get out of the first round, at least in 7 or 8 or whatever it is, But it took me 11 games, and I was already on the verge of elimination. Imagine having lost Game 9 if I missed that floater at the buzzer. Whew, the pot roast is coming for me, man. That would have been a huge disappointment. But fortunately, I was able to win all 3 elimination games, 3 of them, 9 through 11. And on another side note, in each and every one of those 3 elimination games, I have made at least one 4-pointer. Game 9, I think I made about 2. No, wait. I made 4 of them. Because I remember the next 3 shots when I was down by 30, that cut it straight to 18. So that's 12 points total off of 3 4-pointers. And then I followed up with another 4-point shot, that cut it to 2, where I had an immediate out of bounds call. And then the next game, I had a 4-pointer. It wasn't game 10 at Evergreen Park to tie it at 15 at the end of the first half. Low scoring game, by the way. And then game 11 back in Sirius Park East. 2 4-pointers, 2 key ones. One was to cut it to 4 the first half after being down 0-18. Talking about 3 consecutive floaters, and then the next 2 or 3s, and then a 4, and then a 3. Yeah. And then another 4-pointer. That was the key 4-pointer, that got me up 42-39. And I had no choice. And that game, I mean, it was entertaining, man. So I made, what was it? The total is 3 plus 4, 7 4-pointers total in those last 3 games, in all 3 of those elimination games. 7 total. That's amazing. But the thing is, I mean, performance-wise, this was better. If you're talking about my 3-point shooting, it's much better than it was last year. Because last year I was missing a whole bunch of threes. I only made about a few in the first few games, until I got to games 3 and 4, where I started to make more. But game 9, I started to make, plenty. No, not game 9. Sorry, game 10 when I was back in Willow Park, and I still thought that one was better because of the fact that I didn't need these consecutive same shot option at the time, and also the out of bounds option. So I still find the first round last year to be more enjoyable for that sake, but mainly because of my favorite part, which is the buzzer beating shot. And although I did like this one, I mean, by a close margin, dude, I think just both of these first rounds were really entertaining, and especially of how I was able to overcome being eliminated after losing game 8 in Willow Park, right? Not Willow Park, Evergreen Park. So hopefully going into the semifinals, which I will do my pick of what series will be later today, and I will have another video about that, what series will be up. And look, I have not made any videos yet for I have not really uploaded anything for last year's BER season tournament, starting with the first round. So I gotta start doing those edits now that I'm doing my comparison thing. So I will do my pick for the semifinals, which will be this Monday, and we'll go from there, man. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think, man. Peace out.